How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Auto Garage YouTube channel. If you want to see more videos like this, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. So today, I'm going to be talking about rattle canning your car. I've had this car rattle can for 6 months, and I'm going to be going through my experiences, the process of rattle canning a car, and should you rattle can your car. So, if you clicked on this video because you're considered rattle canning your car, I'm assuming you have a shit box. You don't go rattle canning a $50,000 Mustang GT. This is definitely the cheap way out to giving your car a new look, and I can say it is definitely worth it. Going to get a car professionally painted or wrapped would be worth as much or more than this car is worth. It just doesn't make sense. And rattle can is something you can do at home. It takes only a few days and a good amount of hard work, and it really doesn't take that much skill. I mean, my dumb ass was able to pull this off. So I'm going to start with, is it worth it for you? If you just bought a Civic, a Miata, or anything of the sorts, I would say go for it. Especially if your factory paint is in bad shape, I would say there's no reason not to. It really can pay off, but you have to take your time. I'll get more into the process in a minute, but when I bought my Miata, the clear coat was shot, the paint was shot, it was a black color, it didn't stand out like this blue does, and it really didn't have any redeeming qualities about it. So I decided to rattle can my car. It's been 6 months and it's held up phenomenal, and I haven't looked back since. The process of rattle canning your car, I would say the most important part is the preparation. So first thing we did was we sanded off all the clear coat, all the grime, all the grease, all the paint. We sanded it all off, and then we washed the car to get all the debris off. And I mean sand everything, don't miss anything. Inside the fender, you have to sand everything off or the paint won't latch. And then after that, we washed the car, did a really thorough wash, dried it, and then we let it sit overnight, and that was day 1. And then day 2, we actually took some rubbing alcohol because we wanted to make sure we got everything off. Just applied it to paper towels, rubbed the body. We could definitely see there was still dirt on it that we didn't get from washing and drying the day before, because any contaminants that get between the paint and the body will mess it up. It will orange peel. It might peel off, and you do not want that. So you want to make sure you get everything off the car. You want to do this in a garage if you can. I'm lucky enough where I was able to spray paint this in a garage, and that was definitely a big factor of it being good, because you could try to do this outside, but the wind, pollen, if there's any moisture, it's definitely going to negatively affect everything. And then we started the primer. We did 2 coats of primer, I believe, just regular white primer, and I'll get into what we used later. I'll put a picture of it right here, but I'll just tell you now. I just went on Amazon, looked up Rust-Oleum spray paint, and it had about 30 different colors to choose from, and I believe it was aqua blue or something like that, harbor blue, and yeah, I think it's a great color. 6 months, it's held up perfect. I could definitely recommend this product. I'll link it in the description below. Anyways, we started the primer. We used Rust-Oleum as well, and we let that dry overnight. Came back the next day, sanded it down with like 400 or 500 grit, something pretty fine, and then again wiped the whole car down with rubbing alcohol to make sure we got all the dust off. And then with our smoothened primer, we began the paint. And yeah, we basically just went front to back, would sit out 5 minutes front to back. We did that about 4 or 5 times, and then we let that dry overnight. You want to make sure you spray evenly. You don't want to be spraying like this. You want to go along the body in straight lines, and you don't want to have it be thick in some places and thin in some places. You want to be even on every panel, on every curve. And then we let that sit. I think we let that sit 2 days, and then we did our clear coat. We just did one or two layers of clear coat. Honestly, don't remember the specifics. And then we let that dry for like 3 or 4 days. Took all the masking off, and that's pretty much it. And the most important thing to do when painting, other than prep, well, this is prep work, is mask off. if you don't mask something off, paint will get on it. So I actually opened up the hood and everything and put paint inside right here, so it didn't look like there was just blue spray inside, so the engine bay is still completely black. It doesn't look out of place or anything. And for example, right here, you want to make sure to mask off or you'll paint it. I actually didn't mask that off and the lights were down. It still got a bunch of paint on it, so I had to repaint those black. You just want to make sure the prep work is very thorough. Take your time, don't cut corners. You make sure you want to go step by step, write a checklist if you have to. It definitely will help. And yeah, the Rust-Oleum has held up great over 6 months. I don't have any peeling, any fading, or anything like that. I've driven this car in the rain, 90-degree days, thrown it around mountains. Like I've just treated it like a normal project car, and it's been fine. And again, I'll give you some close-ups and everything. It doesn't reflect and shine. Maybe if you have more skill than me, you could definitely pull it off. I never wet sanded after. I know some people wet sand. I never did that. That possibly could have helped. But my favorite modification of the car has definitely been spray painting it. It looks a little bit cheap from up close, but from 5 feet away, it looks phenomenal. The only thing it doesn't do is shine. And if you take your time, I would definitely say this is worth doing to your car. And of course, there's an infinite amount of colors you could choose from, so it's a really good way to stand out, and I couldn't recommend Rattlecanning a car enough. Again, I don't think I'd Rattlecan anything worth a lot of money. Like, I'm not gonna go Rattlecan a $40,000 M3. That just doesn't make sense. If you have a car of that status, you'd probably want to get it wrapped. But for a cheap car, wrap is very expensive, especially if you don't feel comfortable applying it yourself, which wrapping is very hard if you've ever tried it, very hard. So yeah, Rattlecanning is a good route if you want to transform the look of your car. My name is Michael, this is Auto Garage. If you enjoyed this video or found it at all helpful or entertaining, please like and please subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, and have a great day.